what do you think is the role of automation, its evolving trends, and does that affect the overall productivity and cost effectiveness of cannabis facilities?
The role of automation is, there for safety. It's there for reproducibility. It's there for cost efficiency. It's there for product innovation, product refinement, and product commercialization. And with automation and with some of the topics that we've talked about in terms of finance, in terms of API, and as you just opened this topic with our regulatory oversight, we need to start to focus on the GMP. We need to start to focus on our ability to create products that are going to be the same dose, the same strength, the same outcome every time a consumer puts it into their body. And automation helps do that. Automation in terms of setting a light schedule, automation in terms of feeding your plants, irrigating and fertigating, automation in terms of our air movement and environmental control, automation on the extraction side in terms of machine and equipment operation, recipe setting. What we're looking to do is create a historical record that leaves no room for error. And as we talk about the further commercialization of cannabis, whether or not it's descheduling, whether or not it's interstate commerce, whether or not we're talking about global importing and exporting, what also comes with that is record keeping and reporting. And automation furthers the ability to record every minute, every second, every action of every operational procedure. And then with that comes standard operating procedures in which we are creating efficiencies and safeties for our workers on site to ensure that we are not having product loss, to ensure that we are not having compromise in our quality, and to ensure that we are providing a proven process to our customer who expects such a thing, and especially a guarantee of the safety, effectiveness, and the cleanliness of the product that they're about to put into their body.
That's an amazing perspective from a traceability standpoint, from a compliance standpoint, from a safety standpoint, and finally from a standardization standpoint, if what we are ingesting is safe, and is the efficacy the same every time we buy this product for sleep or for any other problem that we may have. But moving on, like automation, especially in the cultivation side, and I will go a step further, that there is this cannabis processing is impacting labor requirements in some countries. There's workforce skill sets that are unusable because there is automation. What do you think are the potential socioeconomic implications in those regions? Do these people need to skill up? Because automation is coming no matter what throughout the value chain.
Automation is coming throughout the value chain. And I think that to answer your question, the first thought that comes to mind and practices that I put in place in my businesses are empowering my employees on my own. And what I mean by that is training and teaching and coaching them throughout multiple departments within my facility, whether or not it's cultivation, whether or not it's extraction. I want them to have their hands, their eyes, and their ears in time and place while they are working with a plant, while they are working with a beaker of oil, while they are working with their colleagues. And I think that by providing that type of program internally to empower your employees, to give them that kind of knowledge of, okay, to go from biomass to distillate oil, we have X amount of steps, and thus I am going to put you on a schedule to teach and coach you up to be able to run every single machine from every single step. Now, there are going to be employers out there and businesses out there who are going to silo their employees, who are going to silo and hold back their ability to learn and be able to get better in skill and in competency. And that's their chosen business model. I think that business operators are doing a disservice to themselves by gating and keeping people held back because they're not willing to bring them up to snuff on equipment and onto higher levels of responsibility. So ultimately, I do think it's on the employer. Now, it's also on the employee. The employee needs to show initiative. The employee should be hungry to want to learn. The employee should want to share information from previous experiences, whether or not it was before commercial cannabis or after commercial cannabis. I have experiences from the illicit market. I have experiences from the regulated markets. And my position is that I constantly want to share those experiences to empower and lift others up, because I truly believe that rising tides lift all boats. So I think that there's a lot of ownership and onus on the business owner, and then in turn with the employee, because when you have a functional relationship, all of your needs are met. And employees do have needs. They want to be held accountable. They want to be given a clear line of ascension in how they can move up in a company. They want to be loyal, and they want to help create a culture of fun and playfulness as well as professionalism. So I think a lot of it really comes down to business leadership and fostering that kind of culture of connectivity and learning. It also is on the onus of the equipment manufacturers and the equipment providers to have in-house education and services that make their machines accessible to new to world operators in this space. So that way we do not have barriers of access for new entrepreneurs. So I do believe that it's a hand-in-hand relationship with the equipment and manufacturers and vendors, as well as with the businesses, to ensure that all employees who want it and who are applicable to the job role and function are getting the education and training in order to ensure that they continue learning.
I love that phrase. I think, and how you put the onus on the leaders and the entrepreneurs to the rising tide and to raise all the boats, and be that rising tide that's going to raise everybody else, and for the employees to have some skin in the game, cross learn and take initiative. I think that's quite the crux, and that's quite a sensitive issue in many parts of the world, and that's hence I brought it up. And that's a good piece of wisdom for all of us entrepreneurs and corporations and the small mom and pop shops to be able to do this at every level. It's not just the onus on the bigger companies. Any medium-sized enterprise to a bigger corporation should be able to do these things and empower their teams and people and make sure that they are raising above their levels and be able to scale up and take larger responsibilities.
I've been in circumstances in which automation has helped my business continue to push forward to take care of the people that I employ. And a lot of times, if you can balance automation in being a tool and a resource and a support center for your existing workforce, that can create and enhance morale, because now there are going to be mundane tasks that some of your employees may feel below them. There are going to be tasks in which are physically taxing to them that they might not take as much pride in doing, that can now be more automated and involves less of their participation and engagement to do it, thus elevating them up to more of a role that requires that thought and that action, as opposed to the automation or the muscle memory of trimming or the muscle memory of, watering. We can replace some of these actions with machines without sacrificing our ability to employees to our company, pay them well, and treat them with respect and dignity in the jobs that they do.
What's your take on cost effectiveness on the total OPEX and CAPEX for introducing automation in facilities?
Your job as an owner operator, as an investor or a board member, or as someone in charge of spending money, knowing where the priority is and how that automation is going to help you win. Because at the end of the day, you need to play to win. If you're only playing to participate in cannabis, then you are going to be stuck in mediocrity, and mediocrity does not win, and it most normally loses. So play to win, stay focused and disciplined, and that's where you'll understand how to best use automation to your advantage in the competitive market that you're going to be playing in.